He was the greatest smuggler in American history.
No, he was very shrewd. He was very smart. He was very calculating.
His customized superplane evaded sophisticated radar and outran government air patrols.
He's an outstanding pilot.
And landed tons of drugs in the last place authorities expected.
Compared to anyone else in the drug business, he was a genius.
Find out how he did it next on Masterminds. In the early 1980s, the Reagan administration declared war on drug smugglers.
Our commitment to this program is unshakable.
Colombian drug cartels were hiring Americans to fly their narcotics into the U.S. Authorities identified Florida as the main point of entry and learned the smugglers fit a consistent profile.
The individuals with the flashy gold and the watches and as I refer to as the Miami Vice type that, you know, they want to almost advertise that I am a drug smuggler.
Customs and Drug Enforcement agents targeted these smugglers.
The government subsequently put more agents down in Florida to combat this.
A secret network of sophisticated radar was installed throughout Florida and the Gulf Coast.
The government also put up a bunch of planes that were basically flying radar systems designed to catch drug smugglers.
Air patrols created a massive dragnet over land and sea. All suspicious vessels were tracked and targeted.
80% of your risk of being arrested is entering the shoreline of the United States, being intercepted by Customs or DEA.
Authorities' efforts paid off. Drug rings were busted. Tons of narcotics were confiscated. Millions of dollars were recovered. And the smugglers themselves were chased out of the sky.
If you looked around down in Miami and down around off the Bahamas, all you're going to see is crashed airplanes.
In spite of their success, however, the DEA realized one smuggler was eluding their security net and landing billions of dollars worth of cocaine. They launched a massive manhunt.
This investigation was considered the #1 case in DEA worldwide.
But authorities couldn't find him because they were looking in the wrong place. This smuggler didn't operate out of Florida and didn't fit the profile. He was an upstanding businessman living in small-town Pennsylvania. Rick Leitchus was a friend of presidents, a world-class aviation expert, and the mastermind who smuggled 10 tons of cocaine into the U.S., lining his pockets with millions.
He brought in more cocaine than any other drug smuggling ring in this country, and that's quite an achievement.
The question is, how did he do it? Rick Leitchus is America's most successful smuggler, flying over $20 billion of cocaine into the U.S. From an early age, Leitchus is obsessed with flight.
He just loved to fly. He got his pilot's license when he was still in high school. He was gifted at flying and at the mechanics of the planes.
After graduating college in the late 70s with a degree in aeronautics, Leitchus starts a business in Scranton, Pennsylvania, called Air America. The company specializes in luxury upgrades to small planes.
If you're flying a plane to Canada, it's nice if you don't have to stop to refuel. Bring your plane to Rick, pay him $100,000, and he can outfit it.
The quality of work that came out of Air America was top-notch. It was excellent.
Air America was very well known and had a very good reputation in the airline industry.
He was really good to his workers. He paid them a fair wage, more than a fair wage. They all liked him.
Rick donates to local charities, befriends the police, even flies the state governor around on business.
He ingratiated himself with politicians, with government officials, with leaders of the community.
Air America thrives until recession hits hard in 1980. Rick's corporate clients are replaced by shady characters, requesting their planes be outfitted with hidden cargo space. One of them insists on paying his bill with a bag containing 3,000 Quaaludes. Desperate for cash, Rick tries to sell them.
Well, his mechanic happened to know somebody down in Philly that could probably move these things. One of the first sales he made was to an undercover cop.
Rick is arrested and questioned. Authorities quickly determine he's a financially strapped businessman, not a serious dealer. But because the DEA suspects his company is being used by drug runners to modify their planes, they offer him a deal.
The DEA recruited him almost immediately off of that Quaalude thing.
In return for dropping the charges, Lychus agrees to report any suspicious activity at Air America.
So he was kind of in the drug business, whether you liked it or not.
Rick realizes the DEA is right. Many of his clients are drug smugglers, and they're making millions more than him. Then, in 1981, one of Rick's shady customers offers him a big payday to pilot for a Tampa pot smuggling ring. With Air America now on the brink of bankruptcy, Lychus accepts.
Long-range goal, he wasn't going to stay in that business forever. At least that wasn't his original intent. His original intent was to make a little money, boost his business up so he could turn his back on smuggling.
But Rick quickly discovers the people he's hired to fly for are amateurs.
Most drug smugglers were people who used the merchandise themselves. They weren't the most stable, reliable people. He commented to his friends about how sloppy they were.
Fuel tanks sit dangerously exposed in the cabin. And the route he's forced to fly is crawling with DEA. But Lychus manages to land the plane and earn his money. After flying 2 more runs, he quits the ring. But his professionalism brings him to the attention of Jorge Ochoa.
Jorge Ochoa was one of the main members of the Medellin cartel, which was a group of individuals who controlled the cocaine coming into the United States. When you have access to a person like Jorge Ochoa and you work directly for him transporting his cocaine, you can't get any bigger than that.
Ochoa dazzles Rick with promises of millions and all the adventure he can handle, smuggling the cartel's cocaine. Still in desperate need of money, Rick accepts. But the Colombian leaves him with a warning.
If you cheat us, we'll kill you. Rick accepted that and came home.
The problem Lychus now faces is how to make the 6,000-mile round trip from Pennsylvania to Colombia. He knows landing to refuel during the voyage risks alerting authorities.